Jason Worzbyt with us, IUP Music Department, brought to us by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. All right, so that coffee woke you up, right?
Absolutely. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, you should be. You've got a big event coming up, and it's online.
It is. Yeah. Tonight is I'm giving a recital. It's called Dedications and Memorials, and it's all for music that was just written for solo bassoon. And one of the reasons I was looking at doing that is I really wanted to give a performance at the beginning of the semester, but with the virus, I thought it might be a little bit difficult to coordinate rehearsals and stuff like that. So there's a lot of really terrific music written by composers from all over the world for just the bassoon alone. And you're going to hear music from composers from the United States, Czechoslovakia, Russia. So it's an interesting group of pieces. I call it dedications and memorials because as I was looking at this music, a lot of the teachers that I have worked with, and I include my teachers as my parents and my wife and my child, I discovered that a lot of these pieces had a lot of personal meaning to me because of all of the wonderful folks that I've interacted with. And so actually all of these pieces that I'm playing tonight are dedicated or in memory of someone that I know.
Yeah. Well, it sounds wonderful. And you're right. You know, just from what little I know of classical music, having listened to it, I listen to it every night as I'm reading and getting ready to go to sleep. I'm listening to classical music, and bassoon is such a warm instrument, isn't it?
Well, you know, the sound attracted me from such an early age, and it's one of the stories that I'm going to tell this evening is that one of the big reasons I am a bassoonist right now is that I ended up meeting when I was a teenager. I ended up meeting the professor of bassoon, David Borst. I ended up meeting him at my house when I was a teenager. My father was on the faculty at IUP, and he and my mother were in this faculty group that hosted visiting foreign students and foreign faculty. And the bassoon teacher was also on this committee, and so I ended up meeting the bassoon teacher at IUP in my basement, of all places. And my parents said to him, you know, our son is interested in playing bassoon. And I was 17 years old, and I ended up studying with him, and just kind of everything else just kind of worked out. And so he is still, his name is David Borst. He's living in Florida. He's almost 88 years old, and he is still playing and playing incredibly well. It's amazing.
Wow. See, that's the medical and therapeutic properties of the bassoon. You live to be a ripe old age.
Absolutely.
So when you're playing bassoon, and we want to get into how people can listen to this tonight in a couple of moments, but when you're playing bassoon, is there a particular style, tempo, feeling that you're looking for in the music that appeals most to you?
I think, you know, all of these pieces that I'm going to do tonight all have a very different feel to them. You know, I think it's important that I can give background to a piece to a listener, but I think it's important that a listener can find some meaning, some personal meaning in the music that I play. You know, all of these pieces were written by, you know, one of the pieces was originally written to be an exercise for students to develop skill in the bassoon, but it's an incredible work of art. You know, One of the pieces I'm going to play tonight is by a very well-noted African-American composer, and one of the movements of this piece is just heart-wrenching, and you can just feel some of the emotions that he was going through. So all of these pieces have a very, very different feel to them, in some cases because of the lives that the composer led, in some cases because of the times that they were living in, and in some cases because even maybe they were writing for a particular bassoon player at the time. So there's a lot of different facets of a composer's life and particular circumstances at a time that will lead them to write in a certain way.
See, I just never really considered, and I don't know why that there would be etude for bassoon, but why would there not be?
Yeah,
rehearsal pieces.
Because some of them are just like, for instance, one of the pieces is by that I'm doing tonight is by a Czechoslovakian composer by the name of Ludwig Mildy, and of course, who is not. If you talk to a bassoonist, that's a household name, but for a lot of other folks, it isn't. And he wrote lots of music for the bassoon as a pedagogue. He was a bassoonist himself, and so a lot of this music has pedagogical value, but it's also so well artistically crafted that I'm doing. That's why I wanted to do one of these pieces. I'm actually dedicating that particular piece to one of my bassoon teacher that I had here, because I have such warm and fond memories of studying that music with him that it just made sense to do that. All
right, so you're going to do this tonight, and people can watch it. How did they do that?
Okay, all they need to do is if they go to YouTube, and if they look up the IUP Department of Music, this IUP Department of Music YouTube channel,
okay,
and you will see a picture of me looking a little bit better than I do now with a coat and tie.
Hang on, I got to do this.
Yeah, you just click on the picture, and then that will take you to the link.
Okay, I got to see this picture now. While I go looking, tell us what else is going on in IUP Music this fall. It's not a usual year, is it?
No, it's not. But I'll tell you that the students have been real troopers. The building has been very, very well taken care of. We have a really good administrative team. I would give a big shout out to Matthew Baumer, our chairperson, our assistant chairs. Zach Collins and Rosemary Engelstad have just done a wonderful job of maintaining the facility and make sure we have all the safety things. One of the couple of things that are coming up are the IUP Symphony Orchestra will be giving a concert on October the 9th.
Same way.
And one of the big pieces that they are doing is a piece called Carnival with the Animals, which is very appropriate actually for young kids. So if there are any young kids out there, this concert will be very appropriate for that. I can tell you that the IUP Marching Band will be giving a performance during the semester. It's either going to be on October 3rd or 4th. I believe October 3rd is the scheduled date, and then October 4th is the rain date if October 3rd gets rained out.
Mm-hmm.
There are also a couple other faculty I know that are giving solo recitals this fall. Our saxophone teacher is giving a recital in a couple of weeks. Jim Flowers is his name. So I mean, there's actually quite a bit going on, and I mean, the students have just been really, really good. The students have adapted to all of these changes very, very well, because it's not business as usual, but they've really, really stepped it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say enough good things about the students. They have really just taken these changes and stride and have just really made the best of it. And I think that's really important, because the majority of our students are music educators. They're music ed majors. So I think if they can thrive in these times, I think when things turn back to normal, they are just going to be wonderful teachers. So I mean, I see that, and I see, I think music ed's going to be in good hands in the next couple of years because of how well they're doing.
I went to YouTube. I looked up IUP Music Department. There you are. You're right. It does look much better than you do in person. The bassoon looks really nice. Bassoons are pieces of art too. Just the instrument itself, and then the music that you make on it is wonderful. I'm assuming, even though you suited up for this, we can't see that you have pants on, but I'm assuming you had pants on at the time. So everything's good. The concert.
Yeah, it's amazing, in this new reality, how pants can really become optional. You're going to see a full view of me tonight. Yeah, I do need to.
Not that much, though.
Wear pants.
He is Jason Worzbyt. He's on the air in about 12 hours tonight, and you can see it at YouTube. Just IUP Music Department on YouTube, and you are there, and you're right there on the front page. Jason, thanks for spending some time with us.
Absolutely, Todd. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Get ready.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay.